Hello and welcome to your latest Maths Wizard video. Today we are going to be focusing on percentage increase. So the main skills we're going to be looking at today is we'll be looking at just how you do some basic percentage increase calculations. Then we're going to look at a few sort of wordy based problems based around this topic. So first example we're going to look at here then is increase 330 by 10%. So quite a straightforward one to start with. Now there's a couple of ways we can do this. Now if you know how to do percentages of amount, you could divide that 330 by 10 to get you 10%, which is 33. Then you just add it on if you want. So that's one way of doing it. So that would be 363. Now, so we'll call this method 1 down here. Now it is quite useful to learn how to use multipliers when you calculate percentage increase. So the way that you do that is this. So if you've got 100% and you're adding on 10%, this new amount, so that 363 we've got down here, is 110%. Now your multiplier for 110%, so if you divide any percentage by 100, that will give you its decimal equivalent. So your multiplier for 110% is 1.1. So if you do 330 and you multiply it by 1.1, that will take you straight to your 363. Now, you don't have to do it that way, but this method is quite useful when you get to some of the more challenging percentages topics which involve percentage increase. So things like compound interest, things like reverse percentages. This is quite a useful method to try and get your head around. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing it like I've done on the left here, but if you can get your head around this, this will make life a lot easier for you with some of the more challenging percentages topics. Okay. Okay, so let's have a little look at another one then. Next example. So it says increase 880 by 40%. So we can do it the first way that I showed you. So if we look at method 1, so we can do 10%, which is 88, and then 88 times 4 is 352. So that is your extra 40%. And then you can add that on to 880. Now that will give you, so let me do this, 1,232. So that will give you your new amount, including your 40%. Or if we look at your multiplier method down here, so 100 add 40, so 100% add 40% is 140%. So our multiplier for this would be 1.4. So if we do 880 times 1.4, so 880 times 1.4, that will get us straight to 1,232 on that one there. Okay, let's go to our next one. So this one says increase 800 by 2%. So I'm just going to go straight to the multiplier method for this one. So 2%, if we do 100 add 2, that's 102%. So if we do 102 divided by 100, our multiplier is 1.02 for this one. So be really careful with your single digit percentages, so your percentages that are less than 10%. 1.2 would be a 20% increase. That's sometimes where people do get a little bit confused. So now all we've got to do is 800 times 1.02, and that is going to give us 816 for this one. Okay, so let's give you a few more to practice with here then before we look at some wordy problems. So we've got 5 questions here, so pause your video and have a go. Okay, and here are your answers to those questions. So if you just want to check those through. Okay, I think we'll take a look at some wordier problems now then. So first question, we've got a bike here that's £130 plus 20% in VAT. So we want to know how much it's going to cost including that 20% VAT. So if you pause your video and have a go. Okay, so the £130 is 100%. We've then got this extra 20% VAT. So that means our new amount is going to be 120%. So if I take 130 and I times it by 1.2, so that's my multiplier here, that will give me 156. You can do it the other way that I showed you as well. So 10% of 130 is 13. So if you double that to get 20%, which is 26, you can do 130, add 26 then if you want to as well, if you do prefer to do it that way. But you'll still get to 156 either way. But like I said earlier in the video, trying to get your head around the multipliers is quite useful for some of the more challenging percentage content. Okay. So next question then. So Amy's paid £10.80 an hour for a job. Now she gets 25% more per hour when she works overtime. So we want to know what her hourly rate is when she works overtime. So pause your video and have a go. Okay, so £10.80 is 100%. If we add on that 25%, we get 125%. So our multiplier here would be 1.25. So if we do £10.80 times 1.25, she's going to be getting £13.50 an hour for every hour of overtime she works. Again, you can still do this question. You can do a quarter, because 25% is a quarter. You can do a quarter of £10.80 if you want to. So by dividing by 4, then you can add it on to your £10.80 if you do struggle to get your head around this multiplier idea. Okay, final question we're going to look at then. So I've sort of slightly adapted a past paper question on this for you here. So there's a kind of a few steps involved to this. So take your time. Maybe try and you could always try and have a go at this without a calculator. Actually, you should be able to do all of this without a calculator. So pause your video and have a go. Okay, let's have a look at this then. So she's buying the following tickets. So she's got 4 tickets at £15 each. So whenever you see that word each within a question, it's always referring to one item. So 4 times 15 is 60. 2 times 10 is 20. So in total, she's paying £80 for the tickets. Then you've got this booking fee. So you can do this in a couple of ways. Now, 10% of 80 is 8. So you can just do 80 at 8 to get a cost of £88, including the booking fee. Or you can do 80 times 1.1, and that will get you straight to 88. So these multipliers are very useful. Now, if you get it on a non-calculator paper, sometimes it is perhaps a little bit easier to do it like this rather than timesing something by 1.1. It might be a little bit easier to do it by working out the percentage than adding it on. Okay, thanks very much for listening. So I'll be uploading loads more content relating to the GCSE Maths Foundation syllabus. So thank you very much for listening today. Hit subscribe and you'll see loads more great videos to help you pass your GCSE Maths Foundation. Thanks very much for listening. Bye bye.